what our purpose on earth is, and that's to be a true creator. Add that which we desire to earth. I just think it'd be really cool if mankind could actually communicate so honestly and clearly back and forth. I think that in itself could do some of the most saving type of powers to the earth, for us to communicate clearly.
Like 3 layers, like
Yes,
what I think I'm saying, then what I hear myself saying,
yes.
and then what the other person hears you saying. So there's like,
I feel like the more we're seeking things, it pushes down that creative spirit and always has us wanting to get something or find something rather than be present and enjoy what's being channeled through us to add to life's experience. And that sense of presence and being is truly the vibration of fulfillment. When a person can truly be themselves, be in the moment.
be, namaste means I bow in divine within you,
Uh-huh.
and present is a gift. I'm just adding this signature
Yes,
to my comment, and that's
yes.
why I keep reminding it. I practice yoga every day as well, and that keeps me into the practice. And
Getting to know people outside of my own environment was quite an adventure in itself. I think I was so used to just the people I knew, my family and students I had grown up with, very tiny worlds for me in my mind, that the minute I met people from other countries, other backgrounds, others, interests and passions, it was quite adventurous just meeting people. So that would be my most adventurous, experience, because it was the opening into like true life. We're meant to
mm,
engage with each other and meet new people and collaborate just like we're doing here. So, to be understood. Now in my mind, I'm thinking of like a bee superhero that through his vibrational powers can actually communicate and receive, honesty. A bee, that's kind of cool.
yeah,
If I do anything sketching wise, I'll be sure to share it with you on our next meeting. Fulfillment is what I believe the earth desires, and I believe what's required to experience that presence is to be accountable for what you're doing. And that's why I really embrace yoga as well, is because it does take you accounting for what you're doing in the moment. It takes you accounting for your mind, where even if you're sitting there with your eyes closed, are you accounting for where your mind is projecting? Are you thinking about the past, the future? Are you holding on to your own thoughts? Or are you releasing and allowing yourself to be almost this, like I say, a channel, or being an open screen to what life can project into your spirit and say, hello, Toms.
or
Thank
the,
you so much for the interview this morning.
yeah, likewise, my
Thank,
pleasure.
thank you, thank you. I know the challenge starts soon, so we'll
No,
get
it's
right
in an hour and a half. I
in an
think it's
hour
hour
and
and
a
a
half.
half, right?
Got it, yes. So we'll just, I guess we could jump right into the questions. I thought before we started this that I could ask, maybe I have 3 questions for you and you have 3 questions for me, but maybe I could ask you 2 other questions that aren't so they're a little bit more casual, just so people could kind of get to know our character a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah, of course.
my first question is, what is one of your favorite foods?
I usually answer to this question the food I haven't eaten in a while.
Uh-huh.
And because and also seasonal things, like if it's strawberry season, I'm
Oh,
all in strawberries. Strawberries is my favorite food. If
wonderful.
it's apple time, apples. So basically seasonal things and one
Seasonal.
that I haven't eaten in a while. And most of
Wonderful.
the time it's fruits. If it's something cooked, probably raw vegan cheesecake.
Oh, wow, wonderful. So you're a vegan.
Yes, I eat vegan.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm similar, but I don't stick to it consistently. But for the most part of the year, I don't eat anything with animal products in it. So
Mm.
wonderful, wonderful. Second question is, on your phone, what is one of the apps that gets used the most?
Zoom,
Zoom.
100%
Wonderful,
Zoom.
wonderful. Wow. So you're familiar with chatting with people through video, huh?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
This is extremely new to me. So if you have any suggestions when we're doing it, feel free to let me know. So those were just the first 2 questions, just so that
Hmm.
we could kind of ease our way into the questions. But I guess we'll just jump right in. So what is your passion or movement, and does it currently have a name?
So my passion is centered around being present.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that involves understanding and embodying more presence.
Mm.
And it depends what you mean by does it have a name. So it could be the slogan "Be Present" as its own. I have
Okay.
my own website, which
Yes.
is named
Okay.
b.askmens.com. And I also have my own company, which is called Mindfulness and Yoga with Toms. So
Wonderful.
everything is connected. However,
Yes.
the passion is being present. Be
Being
present.
present. Wonderful. Wonderful. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Um, Second question, what in your life has influenced you to pursue this passion and movement of being present?
Yeah, it's quite a funny story because I don't remember exactly how it started. I just remembered I was always fascinated about play word plays, meaning of the words, and how it can be played around. For example, when you see the be present, the word
Yes.
be can be a to be or an animal be,
Yes.
right? So there's double
Yes.
meaning there already. And
Yes.
the word present as well, same thing. It can be present as right now in this moment, but it also could be a gift,
A gift.
present.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I was playing around on, I think it was a couple of years ago on LinkedIn about, I started getting into emojis
Uh-huh.
and I was thinking which emojis to use for my like signatures and stuff like that.
Yes.
And because I always loved bees, and
Uh-huh.
my company's first logo, and actually first logo was bee, and everything was around the bee and
Uh-huh.
bees. So I used the emoji bee a lot, and then I started combining with other emojis, and at some point the present came up because
Yes.
that's me just giving, and
Wonderful.
also from yoga, I've been practicing yoga, so.
Yes.
Um, Present is like one of my core values, and at some point it just came up in this context.
Mhm.
So yeah, being
One,
present from yoga practice because I've been practicing yoga for many years right now, and
one,
also teaching it.
one.
So it's kind of one of the core values of yoga as well, just to observe, be present, be
Yes.
now, and
Yes.
just giving, sharing as being
Wonderful.
a gift.
Wonderful. So yoga has influenced the spirit of presence in your life, huh? Yoga was the
Yes,
wonderful, wonderful. I completely agree. I completely agree. So
yeah.
last question, what do you do to keep yourself motivated and interested in your works, in what you do? You're being present. What do you do to keep yourself interested and motivated in that direction?
So the one of the silly things I do is whenever I do a comment, most of the times when I do a comment on social media, I would post emojis which involves be and present. And at the moment, I use the one that's heart with a ribbon on top. And
Yes.
I love sometimes I love to, and most of the people don't notice that it's intentionally, and it means actually be present. And sometimes I combine some other emojis in between or add because for me it makes more sense to have three emojis instead of two. Somehow two feels too lonely. So at the moment I have be,
Uh-huh.
and then it's namaste,
Uh-huh.
present.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
this is what I'm using for this now one. And
One.
it literally sounds like a B. Namaste means I bow in divine within you,
Uh-huh.
and present is a gift.
The gift.
So
Beautiful.
that's how I remind myself when I'm posting on social media. I'm just adding this signature to
Yes.
my comment, and that's
Yes.
how I keep reminding it. I practice yoga every day as well, and that keeps me into the practice. And whenever I hear, like when I'm consuming content, listening to people, whenever I hear someone talking about mindfulness, I kind of keep my ears open toward present. So
Yes.
these are the simple things how I daily remind myself of my purpose. Little
Wonderful.
things.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Toms. So you can ask me your questions now.
I'm into the stories. I love hearing and telling stories. So the
Yeah.
first question is, what is the most exciting adventure you've had in your life?
And when you sent me that question, it was kind of tough because growing up, I was always it's safe, comfortable. So I'm a visual artist. So I was pretty much most of my time is involved in creating art and visual things. And I love stories too. So I would watch movies and, I was very much a consumer of the visual side of things. So I didn't really go outside and do a lot of adventuring as a child. But my first adventure, I would say when I left high school and I was in college, I had an opportunity to go to Disney because my dream was to be an animator for Disney since a kid. And I had to go to Florida, MGM Studios, where there's one animation studio over there. And I was terrified of flying. So I decided to take the bus from where I'm at. I'm in Colorado, and Florida is pretty far away. I don't know how many miles it is right now, but it's a long drive. It seemed like more, I don't know, if it was days worth of driving on a, not my own car, but I took a bus, a Greyhound. So it was quite adventurous being through many different states, meeting different people. But not only that, when I arrived, it was pretty much part of a Disney college program. So there were students from all over the world. And I think the adventure in that was getting to know people outside of my own environment was quite an adventure in itself. I think I was so used to just the people I knew, my family and students I had grown up with, very tiny worlds for me in my mind, that the minute I met people from other countries, other backgrounds, others, interests and passions, it was quite adventurous just meeting people. So that would be my most adventurous, experience, because it was the opening into like true life. We're meant to engage with each other and meet new people and collaborate just like we're doing here. So that would probably be the one that comes to me the most adventurous time in my life. Yes.
Yeah, sounds like it's a pretty life transforming and mind blowing experience, and I
Yes.
can totally relate with what you said because I've been traveling and being amongst travelers a lot, and that thing that when you go out abroad,
Yeah.
and for you it wasn't abroad, but it almost was because there's so much distance and different people coming from different places, meeting new people. That feeling is so great and mind blowing that
Yes.
you're not the same person afterwards. Like you're not the
Absolutely.
same. So
Absolutely.
that's definitely counts as an adventure. Like definitely,
Yes.
100%. Okay,
Yes.
and let's go for the second question.
Okay.
Um, when I was growing up, these days not so much, but when I was growing up, I was really into um, superheroes and movies and science fiction, and that's why I was also quite often wondering, like, what kind of superpower I would like to, and like different kind of superpowers, how life would be like, and that's why I have this question: if you could become a superhero, what superpower would you choose?
That's a great question, because growing up as a visual artist, comic books was really one of my motivators to be an illustrator. So, um, and the funny thing was, I was not much of, I was so involved in visuals that I would get comic books and not even read most of them. So it wasn't until I got into college that I started having this thirst to read the novels and the different things and actually engage with the characters. And it opened up comic books even so much wider than I ever expected. I was just inspired by these beautiful pieces of artwork. But to that question, I would say now, in this point in my life, I think, I'm so interested in psychology of man and the way we think, that a superpower that would be really cool would be something along the lines of being able to speak or communicate clearly or most honestly, like outside of using our brain, from our true spirit, just speaking honestly and being able to interpret another person or even a creature, an animal's honesty back and forth, where I could communicate and receive their honest, even if they were saying something, you could actually probably hear or feel what they really were saying or what they were really feeling. To me, that would be like a superpower. So maybe just to be able to, I guess, relate and understand everyone around me, and for everyone to kind of get the truth from me. Because even me, I talk to people, and we all talk to people, and very rarely do we really come with our most clear honesty in each conversation. We've been trained kind of in school in different situations to be just polite to people, or just to keep it short, not to take up people's time. And I just think it'd be really cool if mankind could actually communicate so honestly and clearly back and forth. I think that in itself could do some of the most saving type of powers to the earth, for us to communicate clearly. Villains wouldn't be villains, the hero wouldn't quite be the hero. We'd relate, so I think that would be one of my superpowers.
Yeah, I love the superpower, and I love synchronicities in my life as well, because in the last couple of days I've been thinking along the similar lines that often is like there are kind of like either filters or masks between the people, and what you project out to the person is one thing, what gets transmitted is another thing, and
Yeah.
what that person perceives inside of them is completely another thing. So there's kind of like three layers, like
Yes.
what I think I'm saying,
Yes.
what I hear what I hear myself saying,
Yes.
and then what the other person hears you saying. So there's like
Yes.
it's mind blowing. So I
Yes.
can totally relate with you. Like that's a really cool superpower. Like
Yeah.
to
Great
have
question.
that sense of connection between the people, to be understand and be understood.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
can totally relate.
That's interesting that you said to be understood. Now in my mind, I'm thinking of like a bee superhero that through his vibrational powers can actually communicate and receive, honesty. A bee, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
If I do anything sketching wise, I'll be sure to share it with you on our next meeting.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, let's go for the third question.
Sounds good.
Okay, the third question is what is the one thing that the world needs the most right now? What do you think?
That one, when I read that one, that was probably the most clearest answer that I could bring to this conversation for me, because I've been pondering this since I was a child, and even now more than ever, since the synchronicity of all humanity is actually kind of vibrating with the same desire, which is, I think the world right now, no matter how wealthy you are, have money, no matter how many friends or things or what career you're involved in of your dreams, I think all humanity is desiring a sense of more fulfillment in life, a sense of
Mm,
truly embracing, like you're saying, the moment, the presence, to be able to be so gratified, so involved with the presence, from waking up to walking down the street to driving their car. We in society now, because I don't know, maybe technology or maybe just the pace of life and how it's going, but I think we delay our fulfillment to some type of goal or some type of location or some type of something we're doing. But I think if everybody was truly their most, the communicating from their most honesty, fulfillment, because fulfillment has to do with a true sense of happiness, health, wealth, security, and unity amongst each other. And it doesn't have to do with just one person. Fulfillment is about all of us really engaging with each other in such a balanced way, where your resonance inside, that part that really doesn't communicate to our mind most of the time, it's a feeling, is not being gratified as much. So I would say that humanity is desiring more than ever to embrace the presence, to be more than ever before. And that sense of presence and being is truly the vibration of fulfillment. When a person can truly be themselves, be in the moment, and really be at a level of high vibration and feeling really just high in life without consuming things. Truly, even I call it a creator spirit, because we're always bubbling with some type of, we were created by the creator. And this is why us as the little children, we're always bubbling with creativity. And I feel like the more we're seeking things, it pushes down that creative spirit and always has us wanting to get something or find something, rather than be present and enjoy what's being channeled through us to add to life's experience. I mean, the stories, I mean, the the foods, the everything, the clothing. We're creators. This is what makes life so good, so rich, so fulfilling. So I think life, even though we have so much money being printed around the earth, we have so many resources, tools, and stuff, but you don't see the creation level amongst the masses growing at that same rate. You see people creating, not massively people creating from what their authenticity is prompting them. So question, what is the world truly desire right now, or what does the world need right now? I just think they need a sense of more honest fulfillment. And so that's kind of like a two-part question for me, because with that fulfillment, I think the absolute answer to many people's fulfillment is a sense of true accountability. And that's where my whole accountable culture passion or movement comes from. Yours is be present, mine is accountable culture. Because it's one thing to be accountable to self, to be honest, question everything, be honest, hold yourself accountable, responsible for pursuing what's coming out of you honestly. But not only that, I think as a culture, we need to resonate accountability more. We can't depend on outside to provide that what we desire. If we desire, we must stand up and create it from any place that we are at, So fulfillment is what I believe the earth desires, and I believe what's required to experience that presence is to be accountable for what you're doing. And that's why I really embrace yoga as well, is because it does take you accounting for what you're doing in the moment. It takes you accounting for your mind, where even if you're sitting there with your eyes closed, are you accounting for where your mind is projecting? Are you thinking about the past, the future? Are you holding on to, your own thoughts? Or are you releasing and allowing yourself to be almost this, like I say, a channel, or, being an open screen to what life can project into your spirit and say, oh, you've never thought about this, growing roses, or you never thought about this, embracing, more friendships or something. But I think accountability is at the core of everybody who truly lives a fulfilling life. And it's not the same accountability that it's partially the accountability that maybe our mother said, be accountable for your room, be accountable for what you're doing. But I think the personal accountability goes much deeper than just the physical side. It's accountability towards what our purpose on earth is, and that's to be a true creator. Add that which we desire to earth. That thing that we desire, I think that's a part of our purpose, is to add it to earth. So if we desire to get along with mankind, we must create something of that sort. If we desire to experience more adventure and stories, we must create something that, so two-part question. And, the question was one, but I'd say fulfillment and accountability. So yeah, two things the earth needs right now.
Yeah, those are actually two different levels.
Yes.
Like one is coming from like what's the outcome, and accountability is the way and a tool how to get there.
Yes.
And if you don't have that tool, you're not gonna get there. It's like it's a two-part question, and it also depends who you're telling it. Person who's already accountable, they don't really need the accountability. They've learned the lesson. They already fulfilled. Person who's not fulfilled, they're trying to find the tool how to get there, and then accountability is the tool. So for me, it completely makes sense to have those two things. They're connected depending where you are in the journey.
Yes.
How fulfilled you are.
Yes.
And if you're not fulfilled, then you need something to get there, some help, some support.
Yes.
And I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Toms, it was amazing meeting with you. And it's so great because this meeting in itself has already inspired me on, sometime in the future, our next meeting. I would like to ask you maybe some simple questions about, presence, because it's so important. Maybe you could give me and the audience who meets us through these interviews some presence, of how to be, maybe some little free presence. And the next time maybe you'll have something more, to ask me, and I could possibly give some presence as well in my own way. But no, Toms, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, and we'll definitely through Facebook we'll contact and communicate more. But I have a lot of resources that I believe in collaborations. When we collaborate, things are beautiful.
100%.
Things are so much richer. So we'll stay in contact. I think today's the last day of the challenge, correct?
Yes, last day of the challenge, day 5.
So we're gonna enjoy that. We'll follow up on the homework today, and we'll stay in touch. And I believe
100%.
this is the first of many different conversations and productions that we do.
Yeah,
Wonderful, Toms.
100%.
En-
Nice meeting you too.
Enjoy
How do you
the
pronounce your
day.
name? Is Maxi? How do you
Mox,
pronounce your name?
yes, Moxxy Emmanuel.
Moxie.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, Toms.
Likewise, Moxie.
Have a great day. Yeah, and you know what? Actually, before we go, Facebook wouldn't let me spell my name the actual way it's spelled. It's actually spelled Moxxy, but
Mm.
Facebook thought I was like making up a name, and I sent them my ID, and they said I don't know. They said no, I'm not going to let you use your name for some reason. So I said, okay, let me try the actual word Moxie, and it took it. So it's on Facebook. It's Moxie, but it's actually Moxxy. Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Awesome.
again, Toms. Have a great
Have a
day.
magical day, Moxie.
Yes,
Have
yes.
fun.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.